Welcome back, everyone. You are tuned in to a brand new deep dive from the Heavy Blend.
It's really good to be back.
So before we crank the amps up today, I just want to take a second to set the stage.
Yeah.
Especially for anyone new, it's important to know what you're listening to. The Heavy Blend isn't, your typical review show. We are a totally independent project, born and bred right here in Italy.
That's right. And our mission is, I think, pretty unique. We aren't just here giving our own hot takes.
Yeah.
We're here to offer a really in-depth, comprehensive overview of a specific rock or heavy metal record.
And we do that by pulling together a whole bunch of public sources from the specialized press.
Yeah.
The Heavy Blend team selects them, and then we rework all that data using AI tools to give you the most complete picture we possibly can.
Do the reading so you don't have to.
Exactly. And today, oh boy, today is a heavy one. We are looking at what many sources are calling the final chapter in a 40-year story. We're talking about the 2026 release by the absolute legends of thrash, Megadeth. The album is just called Megadeth.
And the stakes, I mean, they couldn't be higher. This is not just another album in the catalog. The reports are saying, this is it. This is the farewell.
A self-titled epitaph. Wow.
After 4 decades of just pure aggression and riffs.
So, to help us navigate this huge release, we've pulled from 8 specific sources, and I want to list them out because we want to be totally transparent and show the whole spectrum of opinion.
It's a great mix.
We'll be looking at insights from artists and bands, hard sounds.
Both English, of course.
Right. Then Imparo Sonoro, loud and proud.
Which is English again.
Metal Italia, Metalis, and just a quick note, that's Metal Us, accent strictly on that A.
Very important.
Then Sentire Ascoltere, and finally, True Metal.
So you've got this really great mix of Italian and international voices. It gives us a broad look at how this thing is landing.
It does. And our mission today is to sift through all these reviews, and trust me, they are mixed, to try and answer one big question. Is this album a worthy final statement for Dave Mustaine's legacy?
That's the question.
Yeah.
And to even begin to answer it, we have to start with the context.
Yeah.
Why now? Why is this the end?
Yeah, let's get into that. Because usually when a band says farewell tour, you roll your eyes.
Oh, totally. You just wait for the reunion announcement.
Exactly. We've all seen that marketing gimmick. But this feels different. The sources are all pointing to something more serious.
It is different. And sadly, it's because of physical reality. This isn't just a creative choice. It's a necessity.
Right.
If you look at the reports from artists and bands and Loud and Proud, Dave Mustaine has been really open about his body, in his words, betraying him.
Betraying him? That's incredibly strong language. What specifically are we talking about?
Well, just think about the sheer physical toll of playing thrash metal for 40 years. It's an athletic performance, not just music.
Oh, absolutely.
The speed, the posture. Mustaine's talked about having arthritis, disc protrusions, a broken lumbar vertebra, and a fused neck.
A fused neck. For a guy whose job is, basically headbanging.
Exactly. For this genre, it's catastrophic. You can't separate that movement from the music. Artists and bands actually quotes him saying, I didn't want to start something I couldn't finish.
Wow.
So he's pushing through all that pain just to close the circle.
That puts a whole new spin on it. So every riff, every solo, it's a physical struggle against a body that's telling him to stop.
It completely reframes the album. It's a feat of endurance. And that leads us to the title. Just Megadeth. No clever wordplay. No peace sells, no rust in peace. Just the name.
Which is a bold move. Usually a self-titled record is a debut, right? Or maybe a reboot. A band saying, we're back to basics.
But at the very end,
yeah,
Loud and Proud and Imparo Sonoro both really dig into this. They see it as a final summary.
Like signing your name at the bottom of a 40-year-long document?
Precisely. It's the essence of the band. No frills. True Metal even calls it a testament, a life's balance sheet, but translated into riffs. It's him saying, this is us, this is me, full stop.
Okay, so we've got the physical pain, the symbolic title. Let's get into the noise. What does this final testament actually sound like? Who's playing on it?
The lineup is solid. It's a mix of old friends and new blood. You've got James Lomenzo back on bass, Dirk Verburen on drums, who is just an absolute machine.
It's incredible.
And then the new guy, Timo Mentasari, on guitar, who stepped in for Kiko Loureiro.
Right, and I saw Imparo Sonoro was really, really impressed with him.
Oh, they were. They called his playing, his fingering, transcending the ordinary. And you have to remember, that second guitar spot in Megadeth is maybe the hottest seat in all of metal.
No pressure, just, fill the shoes of Marty Friedman and Chris Poland.
Right. But Timu apparently brings that technical flair. Now, on the other hand, Hard Sounds did note the absence of David Ellison.
The other
Dave. For a final album, not having that historical connection it's felt. But they admit Lomenzo's playing is still top tier.
Okay, let's talk tracks. What's the song that kicks the door down? What's the opener?
That would be Tipping Point. Both Metalis and Sentire Askelter point to this one as a major standout.
And what's the theme?
It's described as that breaking point where a wrong finally becomes a reaction.
That sounds like classic Mustaine. Paranoia, conflict. It's his bread and butter.
It is. It's a classic aggressive opener, very much in that Holy Wars tradition of just hitting you hard from the very start.
Okay, I love a good opener. But looking down the track list, there's a song called Let There Be Shred. I gotta be honest, that title sounds a little, I don't know, cheesy.
You are not the only one. Metal Italia was pretty critical of it. They compared it to Manowar celebrating themselves.
Ouch.
Yeah, a bit cliche. But then you have artists and bands who saw it totally differently. They called it a fulminating display of speed.
So it's either cringe or it's a celebration, depending on your view.
Exactly. What about the punk influence? Mustaine has always had that snarl, that raw edge.
Right. That's what separated him from Metallica in the early days.
And that apparently comes through on a track called I Don't Care, Artists.
Yeah.
And bands sees it as this renewed love for that short, fast, nasty punk aesthetic.
And the lyrics.
This entire Askelter highlights lines like, I don't care if I'm not in your class. Said Underdog Bite.
Mustaine against the world. Still.
Though Metallus did find the track a bit repetitive, so again, a bit polarizing. For the mosh pit crew, though, Hard Sounds points to Made to Kill.
And what do they call it?
A vortex of rhythm. Your mosh pit anthem right there.
Okay, so we've got all the pieces, speed, punk, mosh parts. But what's the overall atmosphere? The production. This is where the consensus really seems to break down.
It shatters, actually.
Yeah.
On one side, you have the skeptic, which is Metal Italia.
Yeah.
They feel like Dave is on autopilot.
Autopilot.
Yeah. Sticking to mid-tempos, doing his homework, not really innovating like he did on Dystopia. They basically called it solid but safe.
Safe is not a word I associate with Megadeth.
No. But then you have Loud and Proud, The Admirer. They describe the album as a journey through Dave's volcano of emotions. They hear the anger, the pain, but also this new sweet sadness.
So for them, it's about the emotional weight, not just the technical side.
Exactly. They're hearing a man say goodbye. Metal Italia is hearing a band clocking in for work.
And that emotional weight, I mean, that brings us to the absolute elephant in the room.
A mammoth in the room.
We have to talk about the cover song, or re-recording.
Yes.
The album includes a new version of Ride the Lightning, a Metallica song, a song Dave Mustaine co-wrote before he was, famously fired.
This one track has caused a huge clash of opinions. It's maybe the most debated part of the whole record.
I can imagine. So let's break down the camps.
Okay, first up, you have the cynics.
Yeah.
Artists and bands called this move clumsy and awkward.
Ouch.
They argue it just proves Mustaine still can't get over being fired from Metallica 40 years ago.
So they see it as him still holding a grudge.
Exactly. A desperate attempt to claim ownership. Metal Italia agrees. They called it superfluous and stale, and they even note his voice, after cancer and everything. She can't carry the epic feel of that song anymore.
That's brutal. But surely not everyone hated it.
Not at all. That brings us to viewpoint B, the emotional camp. Loud and Proud.
Yeah.
They described literally weeping while listening to it.
Weeping over Ride the Lightning.
Yes, because they didn't see it as rivalry. For them, it was healing and reconciliation, a way of closing the circle.
So it's not about the performance, it's about the narrative arc.
Precisely. It's about making peace with your own past. And then there's a middle ground, the historian's view, from True Metal.
Okay.
They argue that, look, Ride the Lightning is a Megadeth song because Mustaine wrote it. It's not a cover, it's a reclaiming of his own history.
A bookend.
The perfect bookend. Kicked out of Metallica at the start, reclaims his contribution at the end. Sentire Askelter put it simply, taking back what is his.
It's just fascinating. One song can be seen as petty or healing or a historical correction.
It captures the whole contradiction of Dave Mustaine.
Speaking of the man himself, I want to pivot for a second to something a bit lighter, something that connects to where we are here in Italy.
Oh yeah, this is a great little detail.
Dave Mustaine has a really strong bond with Italy. He actually owns a wine estate.
In the Marche region, right?
That's the one. And it's not just some celebrity endorsement. It's a real family business.
His daughter Electra runs the wine club that sells it in the U.S.
Exactly. It just paints such a different picture, you know?
Well,
The thrash metal god and the quiet vintner.
yeah.
And speaking of new ventures, I have a quick announcement about the Heavy Blend itself for 2026.
We're expanding.
We are.
Hmm.
In 2026, the Heavy Blend is launching a new format entirely dedicated to promoting emerging bands. We spend so much time analyzing the giants.
It's time to help build the next generation of them.
That's the idea. So this is a call to action.
Yeah.
If you're in a band or you know a band that needs to be heard,
Get them done.
contact the Heavy Blend through our social media channels. We want to hear you. Okay, back to Megadeth. We're nearing the end. Is this album a farewell or see you later?
Well, the final track, the last note, seems to answer that pretty clearly.
How so?
Metalis and Loud and Proud both analyze this spoken word section in the song. It feels like a real goodbye. The lyrics are something like, I came, I reigned, now I disappear.
Wow, that gives me chills. That's final.
It is. Loud and Proud said it has this Latin feel, like the curtain falls. It's not a cliffhanger, it's a period.
But did the scores reflect that grand finale? You'd think critics would give a legend a bit of a bump out of respect.
You would think. But no, the disparity is huge. You have Metal Italia giving it a 6.5 out of 10. They called it an affectionate pat on the back, but they were ultimately disappointed.
And Sentire Escultaire.
A 6.8. Solid, but nothing new. So the skeptics are hovering around a C plus B minus grade.
What about the ones who loved it?
True Metal gave it an 80 out of 100, and Loud and Proud went all the way up to an 85. For them, it's a masterpiece of emotional closure.
So how do we square that? A 6.5 and an 8.5 are two different albums.
I think the synthesis is about what you're listening for. If you want groundbreaking 2026 style innovation, you might be let down.
Right.
But if you're listening to the story, to a man confronting his own mortality and his legacy, then the weight of the album elevates it. The context makes the content powerful.
That makes sense. It depends on the lens you use.
Exactly.
Well, as we wrap this up, I want to take a moment and thank you, our listeners. The feedback we've been getting for the Heavy Blend from the public, the press, even from bands, it's been incredible.
It really has. It means a lot.
And I want to be really clear about our philosophy here. We don't chase likes. We don't chase channel subscriptions. That's not the game we're playing. We know the show is being talked about by people who are following its evolution with real interest, and honestly, that's what matters to us.
And the conversation is the real currency.
It is, and we want to keep it going.
Okay.
So, for the comments, I have 3 big questions for you today. Number 1, do you believe this is truly the end for Megadeth? Or will Dave Mustaine be back? Is the last note really the last note?
Good question.
Number 2, what's your take on the Ride the Lightning re-recording? A touching tribute or an inability to let go of the past? And number 3, if this really is the final album, where does it rank for you in their entire 40-year discography?
Those are some tough ones.
They are, but we know you're up for it. And please, if you found any of this interesting, share the content. For us, here at the Heavy Blend, sharing a passion between people, well, that's the only thing that truly counts.
Well said.
Thank you so much for listening. Until the next blend.
Goodbye, everyone.